This ends with your car getting towed. The woman screaming at me in the parking lot had no idea she was harassing a decorated combat veteran. She couldn't see my prosthetic leg hidden beneath my jeans, and she definitely didn't know that her fake parking enforcement badge was about to land her in federal custody. What started as her power trip ended with real handcuffs. And I had it all on camera. Let me back up. My name is Marcus Chun, and after 12 years as an Army explosive specialist, I lost my right leg below the knee in Afghanistan. These days, I live quietly in a suburban townhouse community with my wife, Sarah, and our 7-year-old daughter, Emma. I have a legitimate handicap placard issued by the state. I park in handicap spots. It's legal. It's necessary on bad pain days. But apparently that wasn't good enough for Linda Carmichael. I'd seen Linda around the community. She was that resident who seemed to have nothing better to do than patrol the neighborhood looking for violations. Dead grass. Linda's there taking photos. Trash can out 6 hours too early. Linda's writing you up. But she wasn't actually on the HOA board. She wasn't any kind of official authority. She was just a busybody with too much time and a smartphone. It was a Tuesday afternoon when everything started. I just picked up Emma from school and pulled into the handicap spot closest to our building. My leg was killing me. Phantom pain, a gift that keeps giving from my service days. Emma was carrying her science project, a fragile solar system model, and I needed to help her get it inside safely. That's when Linda's white SUV screeched to a stop behind me, blocking me in. She was out of her vehicle in seconds, phone already recording, her face twisted in righteous fury. "Excuse me, you can't park there." I took a breath, stayed calm. I have a handicap placard. It's hanging right there on my mirror. I don't see any disability. Linda's voice carried across the parking lot. Other residents were starting to watch. "People like you make me sick. Abusing handicap spots when there are people who actually need them." Emma grabbed my hand, confused and scared. That's when I should have ended it. I could have shown her my prosthetic right then. But something in her smug, self-satisfied expression made me pause. I wanted to see exactly how far this woman would go. "Ma'am, I'm legally parked. Please move your vehicle. Not until you admit you're breaking the law." She stepped closer, pointing her finger inches from my face. "I'm calling the HOA security right now." There was no HOA security. Our community had none, but I said nothing. Just waited. Linda made a big show of calling someone, speaking loudly enough for the growing crowd of neighbors to hear. "Yes, I need someone at Maple Ridge immediately. I have a handicap parking violator refusing to move." 20 minutes later, a guy in a navy polo shirt with a homemade badge that said HOA enforcement showed up. His name was Derek, apparently Linda's cousin visiting from out of state. He wasn't security. He wasn't anything, but he acted like he was. "Sir, I am going to need you to move this vehicle or I'll have it towed," Derek announced, chest puffed out. "On what authority?" I asked calmly. "HOA Regulation, Section 12, Subsection 4. I read our HOA bylaws cover to cover." "There was no Section 12. Can you show me that regulation in writing?" Derek glanced at Linda. She jumped in. "We don't have to show you anything. You're in violation." My wife Sarah came outside, saw the scene, and immediately recognized what was happening. She dealt with enough bureaucratic nonsense helping me navigate VA systems. Marcus has every legal right to park there. If you continue harassing him, we'll contact the police. Linda's eyes narrowed. "Go ahead. I am the parking authority for this community. I'll have that placard investigated for fraud." That was a new one. I pulled out my phone and started recording too. You're claiming authority you don't have.
I'm asking you both to leave, or what?
Derek stepped forward into my space, trying to intimidate me.
I didn't move. Didn't flinch.
After facing insurgents, a pudgy guy in a fake uniform wasn't exactly terrifying. You really want to find out? The next day, things escalated. I found a bright orange sticker plastered across my driver's side window. Illegal parking violation, tow notice, final warning. It looked official at first glance, complete with fake county seal and case number. But it was printed on regular paper and stuck on with packing tape. Sarah photographed everything. I called our actual HOA management company. They'd never heard of Linda Carmichael having any enforcement role. They'd certainly never authorized stickers or tow threats. Mr. Chun, if someone's impersonating HOA authority, that's a legal matter. The property manager told me, we can send a cease and desist letter, but I'd recommend documenting everything and considering a police report. I thanked her and hung up. I wasn't ready to call the police yet. I wanted more evidence of just how far Linda would go. 2 days later, I got my answer. I was helping Emma with homework when Sarah called me to the window. Linda was in the parking lot with Derek and 2 other people, all wearing matching navy polos with homemade HOA security badges. One of them was holding a camera on a tripod. They were filming my car. Then Derek pulled out a tow chain from his truck.
I was outside in seconds despite the pain shooting through my leg.
Do not touch my vehicle. This car has been in violation for 3 days, Linda announced, reading from a clipboard like she was serving a warrant. Under emergency HOA provisions, we're authorized to remove it. There are no emergency provisions. You have no authority, and if you touch my car...
I'm calling the police right now.
We are the police. Linda actually said that with a straight face to a dozen witnesses. She pulled out what looked like a badge, the kind you can buy at a costume store, and flashed it at me. I am a certified community law enforcement officer. That's when my neighbor Tom, a retired attorney, walked over. Linda, that's impersonating a peace officer.
That's a felony.
Marcus, call 911 right now. Linda's face went red. Stay out of this, Tom. This doesn't concern you.
Actually, it does concern me.
Because what you're doing is illegal and happening in my community. Tom pulled out his own phone.
Everyone here is a witness to you falsely claiming police authority.
Derek looked nervous. The other 2 security people started backing away, but Linda doubled down. Fine, you want to see real authority? She pulled out papers from her clipboard and shoved them at me. This is an official HOA lien notice. You owe $2,400 in parking fines accumulated over the past week. If you don't pay within 24 hours, we're placing a lien on your property. I looked at the papers. They were completely fabricated. Wrong legal terminology, fake case numbers, even the wrong county court listed. But they looked convincing enough to scare someone who didn't know better. These are fraudulent legal documents, I said quietly.
They're completely legitimate.
Signed by the HOA Legal Committee. Linda was practically vibrating with self-righteousness. There is no legal committee, Tom interjected.
Linda, stop before you make this worse for yourself.
But she couldn't stop. The power had gone to her head. That weekend, Linda took it to a level I couldn't ignore anymore. Emma was playing in our small backyard when Linda came onto our property, didn't knock, didn't ask permission, and started taking photos of our patio furniture. She claimed our setup violated sightline regulations and needed to be removed within 48 hours or she'd have it confiscated. Emma came inside crying.
Daddy, that lady said she's going to take my swing set. Sarah was furious. Marcus, this ends now.
She just trespassed and threatened our daughter. She was right. I'd given Linda every opportunity to back down, every chance to be reasonable. but she crossed the final line. It was time she learned exactly who she was dealing with. I reached for my phone and made a call I'd been putting off.
Hey, Captain Rodriguez.
It's Marcus Chun. Yeah, I'm good.
Listen, I need to call in a favor.
I've got a situation that requires VA police involvement. The next morning, I parked in my usual handicap spot. Right on schedule, Linda's SUV pulled up behind me. She had Derek and her camera crew again. This time, they printed what looked like fake police citations. Linda marched up, papers in hand. Final warning. You have 1 hour to move this vehicle and pay your fines, or we're pressing charges. I stepped out of my car slowly, putting weight carefully on my prosthetic.
Pressing charges with whom?
With the county sheriff's department. We've already filed a report about your fraud. She was practically shouting now, playing to the phones recording her. She thought she was the hero of this story.
I pulled out my wallet from it.
I removed my military ID and my Veterans Affairs police credentials. See, after my injury, I'd done 3 years as a VA police officer before, transitioning to private sector work.
I still had my retired credentials. I still have my contacts.
Linda, my name is Marcus Chun, Staff Sergeant, retired US Army. I'm also a former VA police officer. I held up my credentials where everyone could see them clearly. I lost my right leg in combat.
I have a legal handicap placard. And what you've been doing for the
Past week is a serious crime. Her face went from smug to confused.
That doesn't let me be specific.
I kept my voice level professional. You've impersonated law enforcement officers. You've created fraudulent legal documents. You've trespassed on private property. You've attempted extortion.
And you've harassed a
disabled combat veteran in violation of both state and federal law. Derek had gone pale. The camera people were quietly trying to pack up their equipment. Linda's mouth opened and closed.
You're lying.
You don't look disabled.
This is a trick. I'd hoped to avoid this for Emma's sake.
But Linda had forced my hand. I bent down and pulled up my right pant leg, revealing the carbon fiber and titanium prosthetic from knee to ankle. Several neighbors gasped. Tom shook his head in disgust. Linda's face drained of color. The clipboard slipped from her hands. Oh my God.
One of the camera people whispered, Linda, what did you do? I didn't know.
You should have told me. Linda was stammering now.
All the authority and confidence evaporating.
I shouldn't have to show you my medical history to park legally, I said. But more importantly, even if I didn't have a visible disability,
I had legal documentation.
You chose to ignore it. You chose to escalate. You chose to impersonate law enforcement. That's when Captain Rodriguez pulled into the parking lot in his VA police vehicle, accompanied by 2 county sheriff's deputies I'd also contacted. I briefed them on everything the day before.
Sent them all my documentation and recordings.
Rodriguez approached with his badge displayed.
Linda Carmichael?
She nodded, unable to speak.
I'm Captain Rodriguez, VA Police.
These are Deputies Martinez and Johnson with the county sheriff. We need to speak with you about multiple complaints filed by Mr. Chun. One of the deputies turned to Derek. Are you Derek Carmichael? Derek looked like he wanted to disappear into the pavement. Yes, sir. We're going to need statements from both of you. Mr. Chun has provided extensive video evidence of you impersonating law enforcement
officers and creating fraudulent legal documents.
Linda found her voice. Desperate now. It was just HOA business. We were trying to enforce community rules. Ma'am, you told multiple witnesses you were police, Deputy Martinez said, pulling out a notepad. You displayed fake badges. You created documents with forged court seals. This goes way beyond HOA disputes. Rodriguez held up a printed stack of papers. We've reviewed Mr. Chun's recordings. We've confirmed with the HOA management company that you have no official capacity. We verified that these parking citations and lien notices contain forged county stamps. The other two security people immediately started talking, throwing Linda under the bus. They claimed she'd told them it was legitimate, that she had authority, that the badges were real. They had texts from Linda backing up their story. Deputy Johnson separated everyone for individual statements.
Linda tried to argue, tried to claim she was the real victim here.
That I'd ambushed her by not disclosing my injury immediately. Tom, still standing nearby, shook his head. Linda, you were told multiple times to stop. You were told you had no authority. You chose to ignore everyone and escalate the situation.
This is entirely on you.
Within an hour, the situation was clear. Derek was being charged with impersonating an officer and conspiracy to commit fraud. Linda was facing multiple felony counts: impersonating an officer, creating fraudulent legal documents,
Extortion and trespassing.
the fake badges, forged papers, and fraudulent citations were all collected as evidence. The HOA board held an emergency meeting that evening. I attended along with Tom and several other residents who'd witnessed
Linda's behavior.
The board was horrified. "Mr. Chun, we owe you an enormous apology," the board president said. "Miss Carmichael acted completely without authority. She violated multiple community policies and apparently several laws. We're implementing immediate changes to ensure this never happens again." They banned Linda from serving in any HOA capacity, referred the matter to their attorneys for a civil suit to protect the community, and sent notification to all residents clarifying that only official property management had enforcement authority. But the consequences didn't stop there. 2 weeks later, Linda pleaded guilty to reduced charges to avoid trial. She received 2 years probation, 200 hours community service, a $5,000 fine, and a permanent restraining order keeping
Her at least 100 yards from me and my family.
Derek took a plea deal too. 1 year probation and anger management classes. The local news picked up the story. Woman charged with impersonating police while harassing disabled veteran. It went viral in our county. Linda's employer, a local real estate office, quietly let her go. Her social media accounts disappeared overnight. Life returned to normal surprisingly quickly. I park in my handicap spot every day without incident. Emma plays in our backyard without fear of angry women with clipboards. Sarah finally relaxed, knowing the threat was gone. The HOA actually made positive changes. They created a clear complaint process, removed the fake enforcement language from their outdated bylaws, and started monthly educational meetings about disability rights and legal parking. Tom joined the board specifically to oversee policy reforms. Other veterans in the community reached out to me. Turns out 3 other residents had handicapped placards and had been harassed by Linda
Over the years,
but they'd been too intimidated to fight back. They thanked me for standing up. One of them, a Vietnam vet named Robert, told me Linda had accused him of faking his PTSD to get his placard. He'd stopped using handicap spots entirely just to avoid confrontation.
that broke my heart.
Linda had been bullying disabled veterans for years, and no one had stopped her until she pushed too far.
I learned something important through all of this.
Sometimes bullies count on you being too tired, too conflict-averse, or too intimidated to fight back. They count on you wanting to avoid confrontation more than you want justice. Linda assumed I'd just move my car, pay her fake fines, or hide to avoid her harassment. She was wrong. Not because I'm some special hero. I'm just a guy trying to live his life. But because I'd already faced real threats.
Real danger, real consequences overseas.
A suburban busybody with a fake badge and a clipboard.
That didn't even register on my threat scale.
If you're facing harassment over a legitimate disability accommodation, document everything.
Know your rights.
Contact proper authorities, not fake ones.
And don't let someone's loud voice and false
Authority convince you to surrender rights you've legally earned.
Linda learned the hard way that you can't bully everyone.
Some of us have already been through worse than anything she could imagine. Some of us know exactly what real authority looks like and what a fraud looks like. 2. She wanted to be the parking lot police. She ended up with a criminal record instead. Thanks for watching this story. If you enjoyed seeing justice served against a fake authority
figure who learned she picked
the wrong veteran to mess with, make sure to subscribe for more true stories of karma and consequences. Have you dealt with HOA nightmares or parking lot vigilantes? Drop your experiences in the comments.
I read every single one.